The story and the knowledge. I have this idea because all these years and all the stuff that I've learned, that I've studied, that I've read, that I've seen videos. I mean, all that information, intuition, insights, whatever. There is a commonality. If you meditate upon the knowledge you have gathered and seen and all that, try for yourself. Try this exercise. Like, what are the commonalities that every movie, every thing you have seen, what is that all those pieces of knowledge are trying to tell you? And so I come up with this idea of the story and the knowledge. Well, for me, the story is this one, for my personal experience and the stuff that I've studied and read. The story is just a simple one. This is gonna sound very simple, but if you understand this and study it, you will see that it's profound. But all of us have heard it in music, and everyone has said it at one time or another. All is one. We are one. But what does that mean? That's our job to find out. So that's the story. That's the story I have heard in so many ways, so many times. We are all one. That's the story. That's a story that it comes from every corner of the world. It's crazy. So that's a simple story. We are all one. We are united somehow, or something like that. That's the story in many different words and graphic ways, and I mean, so many ways to explain this and to tell this story. But this is the story I've kept hearing and listening and reading, and so maybe there's something there. That's the story. And the knowledge, man. What's the knowledge? Of all the stuff again that I read, that I've listened, that I meditate, that I insights and whatever, there is one knowledge that is common. This is commonality, and is related to the story, which is how can I say it? The knowledge can be the accessing the all is one, accessing that story. What does that mean? Many have called it accessing your own divinity. But what is that? Well, it's using the story that I just told you, that we are all one, but the knowledge must be practical. So that's what I believe all the religions and spiritualities and philosophies have tried to do. It's making this stuff work practically. Okay, we are all one, yeah. You go about your day and that's it. That's fine, okay. But there are practical ways that works, and I'm going to try to explain it. It's like, imagine if we are all one, but we feel individual. Well, that means we are individual, but at the same time we are all one. So there's a way I kind of explained that and understood it. That is, okay, we have an individual mind and we have a universal mind, something like that. But it's like to fire up or to light up a light bulb, a small light bulb, doesn't take much energy. But to light up the connection to a big light bulb, it takes more energy and perhaps more effort. You know what I mean? So the thing is, when you work on yourself and you become more healthier and a lot of other things, like the practices that you probably have heard of other people that talk about self-improvement and stuff, that goes along that way. When you are healthier, you have more energy and you can do more with your body. So the knowledge again, by doing that, by having more connection or energy or whatever, you can access to the all is one. What does that mean again? Connecting to a more powerful mind, like the mind of God, as people have said. But this is very real. This is not just some imagination. This is very real. If the story is true, all is one, but our feeling is that we are living an individual experience, that contradicts, but it doesn't have to, because we live on both situation and experience, or we can do that. It's like we live with our own small brains, let's say, but we can access an higher brain, the brain of God, or the brain of the universe, or the brain of life, or whatever, something like that. But how do you do that? That's the knowledge. That's from my perspective and what I've studied and read and all that. This is the knowledge. The story is we are all one, And the knowledge, is how to access that we are all one. And when you can do that, basically it's like, let's personalize this again, like you are yourself, you are small, let's say, but when you really need it or when you want it, you can access a superpower. In that sense, it's like nudging God to help you in this or that, something like that, you see. Now, there's ways to do this, there's ways to practice, there's ways to access that. If you've never done that, or if you are not aware of it, there's a certain training that you have to do, I guess. So I have other videos that may explain this. But the thing is, it's that, man. I believe it's that. For me, it's that. It's a way to resume it, the story and the knowledge. The story, we are all one. And the knowledge is how to access that all, that divinity. And this has been the story of us, man. That's what I believe. Of humanity, it's been the story. There are people that come out, no, we are all one. And then there's separation. Most of the time is separation. Everything is causing separation, polarities, and wars and whatever. There's all separation. It comes some people, some wise people that say we are all one, blah, 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 blah. But we don't believe it, or we take it and move on, whatever. Then the knowledge, there are people that come out with that knowledge, how to access the all, how to use the divine mind for your benefiting. I mean, to help you. I mean, it's like having an extra pack of energy, man. Like you run your day through some small energy that you have, but you have access to a whole other level of energy. So that's kind of it, man. I believe for me, all these years, it's been like that. It's the two most important or fundamental informations I've come across. These two, the story and the knowledge. Yeah. We are all one. We have heard it many, many times, but how does that relate to us? What is that? How does that work? That's the question. That's what I've been studying. And then the knowledge to connect with that. How to connect with that. How to use it. How to be with it. How to go beyond the limits. It's really what it is. Because you have probably lived with limits all your life, but when you access something greater than you remove the limits temporary and you see beyond your limitations. So you can see solutions that you couldn't see previously. That's one way. But there's much more to this. If you want to watch some other videos I have, and then search for yourself. So stay connected. Let's go.